Hello, DTTT viewers, which is basically no one right now, but this is going to stay up after I finish recording. Welcome to the very first episode of the Transformers Operating Room. This series is basically just whenever I get a Transformer with some real bad quality control issues, or it gets broken, or there's just like some repair I want to make to it that's like, you know, maybe swapping out some ratchet pieces in the future if I get like some combiner war stuff. Basically, anytime there's something that could be fixed about a figure, I'll live stream it and show you how to do it yourself. So our very first patient is going to be Titan's Return Skullcruncher. Now, Skullcruncher here has a textbook case of literally every recorded quality control issue disorder. Floppy ball joints, loose mushroom peg swivels, knee joints that are too tight, and transformation hinges that are too loose. Or maybe not. Actually, these are fine once you just click them all the way into place. Oh no, it's this one where the transformation joint is too loose and this one's too tight. See? Kind of just breaks right there. This ball joint is way too tight, and the hands are kind of loose. So I'm going to show you how to fix yours if for some reason you have this figure. Real quick, just going to go over to the actual event and see what's going on in the chat. Anything? Anyone in the chat? Ian, I'm not doing this on my personal channel because this is related to stuff that's going on with the podcast. So anyways, yeah. I'm going to just switch on back over. Oh, real quick, materials that you're going to want to use. For this fix, you're going to need a hammer, a little small piece to knock out some pins with. I'm using a broken drill bit. You could use whatever you have that's thin, metal, and sturdy. A little bit of plastic. Oh, I forgot to mention the Titan master port's a bit loose. Some super glue. Something to use as, I guess, not really a fulcrum, but I can't really think of the word here. I already say the super glue. Super glue. Some oil of any kind. And something to apply the oil with. All right. So let's get this started. I'm going to switch over to my work camera, and I'll show you the first thing you're going to want to do. All right. So we'll start with some of the more simple fixes right now. There we go. First thing we're going to fix is we're going to move this cord out of the way. Mostly out of the way. Hello, darkness, my old friend, sad cat. All right. So first thing we're going to want to do is just basically we're going to move this thing that we don't need out of the way. We're going to pop out the ball joints. This is a simple step. Literally, it's just taking off the ball joints. So we'll just we'll take this, set this off to the side. For now, you can see what I mean. That joint is way too tight, that ball joint. Now, just adjusting my camera a bit. I'll show you or actually, the other thing we're going to want to do is just pop this off of its mushroom peg. It's a bit easier to do on some figures, I guess, but there we go. This will just make clearance not as much of an issue.
With the power of an elite team of hackers, I have broken into the stream.
Oh, hey, Ian. Maybe now this will be a little entertaining.
Yeah.
All right. So take a little sip of beverage here.
So what's wrong with your Transmorpher?
Did you miss the beginning?
I did.
Oh, I ran through all the problems that it has. Loose ball joints. This mushroom peg's like super loose. Ball joint here is way too tight. Transformation joints in the knees are too loose, and the hinges in the elbow and the knees are too tight. On this leg particularly, see, it kind of just like does the knee for a bit, and then it breaks like right there when it should be able to go all the way to here before breaking. So this is a bit too tight, and this is a bit too loose.
Okay.
So the Titan Master port.
So what is that little saw thing that you use to cut?
A Dremel. We're not going to be using one of those today.
Okay, it's just I'm trying to make for my War Machine a mask where like the mask part of the dome is flipped up, and what I'm trying to do is cut the mask out.
So yeah, you can see the head just kind of bobbles around in there. A little bit of a bobblehead syndrome.
But like,
so that's what the clear plastic is for.
I'm trying to I tried doing it with a X-Acto knife, but it's not really working well. It's taking forever.
And the hands are a bit loose too, so that's another thing we're gonna be fixing.
Okay, so could you maybe sometime cut that for me? Do you have, if I like send you the dome piece, could you do the cutting?
Yeah, totally. All right, so the ball joint thing is a super easy fix. So what you're gonna do is we're gonna take our glue, and we're just gonna apply a very little bit. It's kind of hard to do around a camera. Just a little bit to the top, to the outside, to the bottom, to the front, and to the back. And if I could get it in there, which I think I might be able to, just apply a little bit up there too to the top. And we'll just set this piece off to the side to dry. And by set it off to the side, I mean we're gonna just pop it back on its mushroom peg, and then sort of use the alligator crocodile head along with the arms as like a tripod to keep it propped up.
Okay.
So I'm just going to set this over here now, and we're going to move on to our next thing, which is the loose swivels here. So if I just yeah, you can see like in there the plastic, it wasn't molded completely properly. If I just like right there, there's a bit of little bit of fleshing that's in there. Just kind of see.
So I read 30 issues with The Walking Dead today, by the way.
So yeah, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna pop out the mushroom peg here, and you can't see it on this one, but on the other one you can see I'm bleeding a little bit, by the way, from previous incident. Basically, this is super loose, and on the other one it actually kind of like started digging into the plastic, which means there's probably just a little bit leftover plastic from the sprue on the other piece. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a little bit of glue, try to get it down in there. And on this part, you need to be really careful. You want to pop this back on, and then just kind of turn it around a bit. Not a ton. And then once you do that, you just work it back out, and we'll set these two pieces off to the side to dry as well. And keep them separate, otherwise they're going to get stuck together, obviously, because it's glue. Okay, maybe it wasn't, actually I don't think this tore in at all. It looks like maybe the little bit of extra plastic was just kind of hanging on there. But yeah, this is also a super loose mushroom peg joint, so again, just get a little bit of glue into the crevice if you can. There you go. Get a little bit of glue into the crevice, and then pop it back in, turn it around some.
Oh, are you tightening a joint?
Pop it back out. Yep.
Sorry, I was replying to some DMs. Okay. So yeah, I've had to do that a couple times. I remember, I did that on my Megazord build because the things were loose. So
all right, so yeah. I'm real quick gonna go grab my good screwdriver set, because it looks like I may have to take the leg apart a little bit just to get some better clearance. So yeah, I'm going to be using this set of screwdrivers here. It's Crescent, I think, is the brand. These are nice. They're really small. They're great for like hobby and glasses repair and stuff. Oh, I'm going to put the cap back on my glue. Actually, I don't want that to all dry up. So basically,
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and check the chat.
nothing's happening in the chat. I've got it open on my thing.
Okay.
So just to get this whole assembly out of the way for better clearance, what we're going to do is we're just going to, you can see there's just a little screw in there. And normally I'd have like a little cup or something set off to the side to put all the screws that I would take apart in, but I didn't think this through super well, so I don't have a little cup.
So I'm probably gonna have to use like crappy store-bought air drying clay because I can't afford like green stuff.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this little bit of like, what is this, poster putty or something, and just in there so I don't lose them. And so now, as long as this isn't glued in place, we should just, yeah, we should be able to just slide this out on a little track. So see, now we can kind of get in there just a little better because there's not a big piece of green plastic in there. So
That's cool.
so yeah, unfortunately, these are the kind of pins that you can't take out with a hammer. I'm not sure if there are any pins other than this that we would have to remove. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to basically just do what we did before with the glue, and just wonder if maybe I could like unhook this a little bit. No, this is super tight. So yeah, what we're going to do is, I don't know if maybe this knee is a bit too tight. I don't want to try to loosen it because then that's going to be a pain to tighten again. So what we're going to do is, just because it's an issue with the hinge kind of clicking into place.
1 second. Who's Hush?
Are we talking about the dude wrapped in bandages?
I don't know. Some guy asked for a custom Hush torso.
Batman villain.
Okay, so he's the bandaged guy, right?
Dude wrapped in bandages, yeah. So basically what we're going to do for this one is, since we're only trying to create more friction between the red part and the knee, we're just going to do a little strip of glue, like just right here. And now just kind of hold this all together and like work it in there a little bit. Let it sit for a couple seconds, undo it.
Oh, the guy's actually watching. Little shout out to Juke Makes Stuff.
Neat. All right. So yeah, this looks like hopefully it should be able to hold. So we're going to set this off to the side now.
I've actually never really looked at this dude's account. He's actually surprisingly good. Okay, then.
Neat.
Yeah, I'll make Hush. In fact, you know what? I don't know.
Ian, you've already hijacked the stream enough. Don't start customizing on my stream.
I'm not going to make a big deal out of it.
Okay. So yeah, now the way you can tell when this is ready to have the piece accepted again is if you just, by touch, you can't really like squish it and it's all just solid on there. Like the glue is just solid completely. See, my fingers stick in there a little bit, so we're going to wait a couple more seconds for that to dry, or like maybe a minute more. Meantime, now this is actually going to be good enough for me to just pop it right off the mushroom peg again. Cap the glue. And now what we'll do is we'll just loosen up this super tight ball joint. So this is a real simple fix. You just pop the joint off of the excuse me. Pop the joint off of the ball. Gonna take our for this part I'm gonna flip my camera around because I can't fit the whole bottle of vegetable oil in frame. But basically, rather than like cutting off anything from inside or just sanding the inside and risking completely ruining the joint, what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of reduce the amount of friction that's in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our vegetable oil, and where did I put the Q-tip? Just get the Q-tip, get a little bit of oil on there, and then we're going to, now that we've done that, we're just going to I'll flip my camera back around now. I'll just move back down here.
Okay, customs. I do a little bit of both. I tend to, for like full-on commissions, I tend to want money, but like for this, what I'm doing now, it's just has a mohawk and some other parts that I kind of am interested in, so I'm just making him a torso. So yeah.
All right. So now, just since this is like an actual little, we're going to just take this and put it in a socket, since it's kind of round, and just kind of rub that around in there a little bit, like you're putting on some paint. Right? So now once we pop this back into the joint, just moving it around some should hopefully work the oil in there. Looks like we didn't get quite enough. I'm just going to get a little bit more oil on my Q-tip. And just work it in a little more around the sides, especially, just because I'll just apply a little bit of oil to the actual ball here, the ball part of the ball and socket joint. And you just stick these two pieces together. And
remember yesterday on the stream when I was just going through Moosefig's Instagram?
Yeah. So now I've just got the joint. It's kind of squeaky, and that's a little irritating, but it's significantly looser, and it's got a lot more play to it now. Like, I can actually get it in some decent positions without worrying about warping the plastic. Just gonna kind of wipe my screen here real quick. It's all fingerprinty, and the glare is super irritating. But yeah, so and then another thing you can do is the transformation joint here is a little too loose for my liking. Like, this one is a little tighter, but just because of, yeah, sometimes that'll happen. I guess maybe wipe off a little bit of the oil. But yeah, this has got it's squeaky, but it's got a decent amount of friction. You just have to be kind of careful not to bend it in too awkward a position, otherwise you risk popping it off. And then another thing you can do if you just want to, if you don't want to do the thing with the oil, where's my screwdriver? You can just take the screwdriver and you can just tighten this shoulder joint in here, because this is just screwed in. Speaking of screwed in, now what we're going to do, just since I have this on hand, is I'm going to fix up the Titan master port. So we're just, for this, since there's not a ton of space in there, you can't see because of the big, actually the crock head's on a ball joint, so I'll just pop that off. You can't really see, or maybe now you can, but there's not enough space really in here to cram in a piece of plastic, I don't think. So what we're going to do is we're basically just going to open up the torso and do a little bit of open chest surgery. Now, hopefully none of you, like 3 people watching, are squeamish, but hey, this is an operating room. Shouldn't have come if you are. Deadpan humor.
I have no idea what to say at this point.
You gotta be real careful with these. You don't want to like strip the screw, so you just gotta apply just enough force to. All right, yeah, I'm worried about stripping the screw here, so what I'm gonna do, I'll just pop the arms off again. And then I'm gonna use a flat-headed screwdriver because less risk of completely stripping the screw if I use this guy here. See there, now it's coming out. So just keep loosening these until you can kind of. Oh, and there, I didn't even notice that. There are also a couple screws down here that you're gonna have to pop out. I'm gonna do this off camera just because with the camera in the way, it's kind of hard to get a good angle. So, yeah, once you got these screws out, you should be able to completely just open up the torso and take a look at everything inside, all the inner workings. Just keep loosening, keep loosening. One more here. Guess I'll just completely take the screws out then. Yeah, this would have been a pain to try to do with a camera under my chin. So, Ian, what's going on your end of the world right now?
Making a hush torso.
Neat. So did you watch the first episode of Iacon Radio 1?
I watched like half of it. It was interesting. You know, little derivative of another show on our channel.
Not really, because yours is kind of just like holding it up on this pedestal and saying it's like the best show ever, and ours is like we actually accept the fact that it's not a great show, but it's still really entertaining.
Did you see our? Did you see the show?
Yeah, I participated. Remember?
We really hated on Mighty Morphing.
Yeah. Okay, so now we've got the chest popped open. You can kind of see how the Titan Master port works. It's just basically it just kind of slides in there, see?
Yes.
So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our plastic, and do I have a pair of scissors down here? Yes, I do. This I just tore off of some old Transformer packaging, actually. So we're just gonna cut ourselves just a little sliver here. Be very careful with this part. This plastic can get very sharp. So we're just gonna take this little sliver that we've cut. And we'll keep cutting this down. There we go. And this should be big enough now, or small enough even. All right, so if I position this here, what I can do is I can, yeah, I'm gonna just grab a tissue real quick and like continue to wipe my screen. It is very smudged up from fingerprints. There we go. That looks much better. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is remember where I put the Titan Master port. There we go. Okay. Where did I put the plastic now? I'm going crazy here. Ian, where did I put the plastic?
I don't know.
All right. Now what we're going to do is cut some more plastic since I lost my first bit. There we go. This should be about the right size. Now what we'll do is this is creating a tiny bit more friction, so it kind of locks in a little better. So now what I'll do is I'll just sort of slide the Titan Master. Just slide the Titan Master port in about not all the way, just a little bit of the way, maybe about halfway, just so that there's enough space so that I can kind of cram this in there. See?
Okay.
And once that's in, what we'll do is we'll take our torso or our chest piece here. We'll just close that back over and we'll take our screwdriver and reassemble everything on camera.
Then we had asked him because we have scheduling conferences.
There we go. Now you just keep screwing everything back in and don't do that. Don't. Come on. And just screw this all back together. How many people are watching right now, Ian?
3.
Neat. Take this little bit, take this screw here and just get it back in position. And I'm going to just start this one off camera, just so it's not wobbling around as much. Now you can just finish screwing that in. Yep. These are still moving around, so that's good. I'll just take our last little screw. Again, starting it off camera, because this one I completely removed just because I didn't know the point to which I should stop unscrewing it. No. Come on. All right, maybe do this with a Phillips head would be a better idea. There we go. Okay. Just get this started into the hole. All right. And then just screw this back in to the point where it starts giving me resistance. All right. So now we've just kind of got this bit sticking up a little bit. We'll take our scissors, we'll just trim that off some. Hard to do with a big pair, but I don't have anything small right now. What I can do is I can take my X-Acto knife and reposition my light some, and then just kind of slice that off. All right, now the best way to do this is to just take your Titan Master and pop it in the port. There we go. It's still bobbling around in there. So that's a bit of a loss, unfortunately. Looks like this bit's not affixable. So we'll just have to resort to the normal method of just turning the head around, which is a little unfortunate. I was hoping to be able to fix that, but hey, whatever. All right, so now the thing on this thing should be tight enough, and we should have enough friction here to hold the knee joint. Yeah, there we go. transformation joint is fixed. Now it's tight enough to hold together. So what we'll do is, which leg is this? This is the leg that goes onto the thing that we just finished, that we already put the tightening on. Mushroom peg is much tighter now. It can actually hold a pose, and then you can just pop this on, and you can see that it is not going on. Sometimes if this sticks up too much, you just kind of want to scrape it off a little bit with your finger, or maybe with a screwdriver. But basically now, what we should have is a much tighter ball joint here. And this isn't going to flop around anymore. See, this isn't wobbling around super loose like. You still get the same range. It just holds on much better. And again, if at some point it gets just too tight, maybe take like a flathead screwdriver and scrape off a little bit of the glue. But basically, that's it for tightening up your whatever we just did. What did I just do? The hip joint? Ian.
I was not paying attention.
Okay, great. Thank you. So yeah, but now since those are done, we can take our other one and put this back together too. And you can see, nice and tight. Now, here actually, since I haven't tightened up this ball joint here, I can actually show you a little bit of a comparison. So there, that just pops on there. And this will just pop on here. Now we can pop this back on the mushroom peg and readjust the tripod a bit. And you can see this one's flopping around quite a bit, knocking into the other one. This one stays in place with just and this one with just a little bit of force. See, it moves, a little bit of force here, doesn't move. That's what we achieved by doing that fix there. So, yeah, just gonna pop this back off the mushroom peg, pop off the leg here, and now we'll fix up this ball joint here. Where did I put my glue? There we go. So again, just in those 5 spots I said before. The outside of the piece, the bottom, back, the front, and if you can work it in there, up top too. See, that's a little bit off, but that doesn't matter so much. And while we're on the subject of tightening some joints, this joint here on the hand is super floppy. I'm not sure about this one. I haven't really tested this one yet, but this one, yeah, this one holds in place a lot better than this one. Now, there are a couple ways that we could fix this. We could tighten, we could add a little bit more, we add a little bit of glue to the part that kind of locks it in to create a little more friction there. Or we could try to pop it out of the actual little thing here, because this isn't held in place by pins. It's just friction held in there. But yeah, that looks like it kind of goes up pretty far in there. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do the same that we did. Yeah, you can see there actually it looks like, if you could focus please. Like right in there, you can't see it, but it looks a little bit like it's cracked, the plastic. And so what we're just going to do is just do a little bit of glue here, just right there, right by the little bit that you use your finger on to kind of move the piece. And then we'll just sort of do what we did before. We'll work that in some. Let it hold. Realize you put it in the wrong spot. So instead of putting it up here, actually, what we want to do is put it right next to a little bit you're supposed to use your fingernail for. So just right in there, set this off to the side, and just sort of create a little bit of friction there. by kind of bending it in and out. Hold it for a few seconds, pop it back out, a few seconds, back out, a few seconds, back out, and then just keep doing that for a little bit. Just to help kind of build up the material in there. So now we'll set that off to the side, and I think that's about it for all of the pieces that I need to make adjustments to, that I can make adjustments to. So what I'm going to do now is just take this and reattach that to the leg, because I unscrewed that earlier. My voice is real weird today, apparently. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna, for this part, move the camera over here so that you can see what I'm doing, but I can have as much space as I require. Where's the Phillips head one? All right, so we'll take our screwdriver and take these two pieces. We'll again, this is on a bit of a track here, so this just slides over this bit that's kind of indented into the plastic. And we'll slide this in. And we'll take our screw, which is, again, just in this poster putty here, and just kind of very carefully. All right. Looks like it's not going in there willingly, or just staying in there willingly. So what we'll do is we'll kind of line it up here, and then screw that back in. Once it starts giving you that much resistance, you're going to want to stop. That way you don't like strip the screw. And then you can see this is back in. I don't remember if this is the one where we fixed the transformation joint. It's not the one where we fixed the transformation joint, unless, yeah, no, this is the one where we fixed the transformation joint.
I got it.
Works. Transformation joint works. These are both good now.
So I gotta go. I'll talk to you later.
All we have to do now is just wait for the glue here to dry, and then, oh, and the glue here, and then our figure should be fixed. All right, see you, Ian. All right, he's gone already. So, do any of our, like, what, 3 viewers have questions that they'd like answered? Our one viewer, unless is that me? Am I the one viewer? I'm not sure. Anyone other than me watching? So anyways, I'm just going to start putting this back together. I've already got the head in. So I'm just going to take the crock head, pop that back on here. See, this is kind of not super tight, but that doesn't, I don't mind so much, because this is kind of like a softer, not softer, but it's like a more fluid movement to it. It's not like it's, you know, wobbling around a ton, which it kind of does wobble around a bit, but that doesn't matter because, like, it's a crocodile. You're not going to have this thing like in the air or anything, probably. And it's just sort of rests on the back, so it holds in place well enough, and I don't know anyone who's going to be violently shaking their crocodile. So yeah, what we've learned here is that the plastic fix that's worked on most other Titans Returns figures does not work here, so don't even bother trying to do the little clear plastic fix. Kind of want to switch this face out. I saw a really nice looking one on Shapeways, and they just like screw in. So maybe the next episode I do of Transformers Operating Room will be like a 0.5 on this, where I just swap out the faceplate. Maybe not, though. Who knows? I don't for sure. All right, so yeah, this has created quite a bit more friction. See, it's not like moving at the slightest provocation. So I'm going to reassemble this guy in croc mode, I think, just for safety's sake. So just pop the ball back on here. Where's just the shoulder? Okay, so this is where the elbow bend is. So this needs to be flipped around here. And then this is going to go on here. Yep. Which means this one goes on here. And this is the one that's not irritatingly tight. So we'll just flip the hand back in, rotate the arm, rotate this part of the arm around. And this is kind of why I wanted to fix the tight ball joint. It's kind of hard. There's like, I don't know how well you can see this, but there's like this little tab in here right there. It's supposed to just sort of rest in there. And it was a real pain to try to like shift the position on this thing up so that I could get it to sort of rest in there, because it was really tight. So there we go. Flip the croc neck back around. Neck, because crocs don't really have necks, I don't think. And then just sort of wiggle, sort of finagle everything until it all just tabs into place. Then you got yourself a little bit of crocodile here. See, looks like he's swimming, so we want to. So you just move all this around until you get into a good crocodile-like position. This is a crocodile, right? Crocodiles are a lot slimmer than alligators, I think. I'm not a reptile expert, so can't even really tell the difference between a lizard and a salamander. Okay, this dried significantly faster than this. I don't know why, but this is totally ready to be reassembled now. So just pop that on there. Reattach the legs. Or was it this part that was supposed to be drying? Yeah, it's this spot that was supposed to be drying. Either way, this is completely dry too. So we just pop the leg back on now, and you can see that's significantly tighter. Maybe even a little too tight. Yeah, you can see it's starting to kind of rub off some of the glue there. So maybe just scrape off some of the excess with your fingernail. If you don't have a fingernail, a flat-headed screwdriver will suffice. And then you just pop that in again. See, that's quite tight now. And just kind of wiggle it around a bit until you find how much of it you want to, how much of the glue you kind of want to scrape off. Because if you put too much glue, again, it'll kind of want to move completely off the ball socket, or the socket will want to completely separate from the ball. You see now it's nice. It's got just enough glue in there to kind of hold it all in place. Knees work great. And now if we kind of shake this, little bit of looseness, a lot of looseness, but it's, yeah, there's still a little bit of looseness if you shake vigorously, but I don't plan on shaking this vigorously often, so, you know, it's tight enough now that I know for sure it'll hold a pose and won't just give out randomly. If I need to later on, I can just tighten it up a little more. And transformation joints now, if I want to use them, I either have to bend the knee all the way or just kind of hold this and hold the kneecap in place with my finger to kind of move everything up into position, rather than before where it would just kind of do it on its own. So yeah. Still a bit of a pain to get all tabbed together just because of the shape. It doesn't really like locking together all that well. You just kind of have to hold it all in place until you can get the tail over it, and then it'll just hold a little better, which makes me kind of worry that at some point this plastic may start to tear a little bit, but For now, it's all good. I can move the legs out, kind of splay them some, and then open up this panel, which is made out of a soft plastic for some reason. I'm not sure. And then you can just unfold Grax and drop him in there. Get our friend Skullcruncher the Crocagator. And scroll down on accident a little bit. Skullcruncher the Crocagator. And there you go. He's been fixed. Steel Prefontaine, thanks for trying, but you did not. My old handle was pre-made custom minifigs, and if I know who you are, you're pre-made customs, which is wrong. I saved my old one on an alt account. So congratulations on stealing nothing. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you around next time I have to fix a transformer.